Welcome to Football Manager 2017, my Wigan game. The 2035-36 season in the pre-season games. This is the third pre-season game. I've been through my training camp, and now I'm about to play Red Star FC, who are in the equivalent of Division 3 in France. There has been no movement on the front of the Real Madrid job, which is still available, and I'm currently still listed as being the favourite for it, but I have heard nothing about it. I know nothing about this team I'm about to play. On the other side of things, Michael Wilson fell down injured. Alan Atherton fell down injured, so he's only meant to play half the game, which could give me a nice little selection dilemma. While I'm thinking about this, I'll move that guy up there. Luke Price can stay as sub number 12. What else is there? I tried getting a different German left back, but he and I couldn't agree contract terms. He's available on a free transfer, but he wanted an excessive amount of money and conditions which I could match, but I wasn't comfortable matching. I'm looking at a couple of midfielders. I'm also putting a bid for another forward from Man United, the under 23 side, for about £6 million. And I've got competition from others who want him. And Dean Turner has been dropped for this game, and I'm putting good old Rec up front to see how he does from the starting role. Apart from that, not a lot going on. Mainly I'm just trying to find players, trying to find backroom staff. I've offered a job to a new head of youth development as I got rid of the last one at the end of the last season. And I got a new chief scout. And I'm also trying to bring in a German central defender. Apparently the Germans seemed quite willing to move to Wigan, or the young German players. At least they're willing to talk to me. So apparently I'm about to have a German invasion. Not that I should mention, I don't know, Henning Wehn and the 1930s. However, this team is not great, especially at the left back slot. Everything else, well, the left back and one central defender. That was a good crossing goal, I must admit. That was a well taken cross. The defender should have got there first, Bouquet, who was backing off significantly. But yes, apart from my left back slot and one central defender who well, how did you miss that? The goalkeeper gave you an open goal for that one. I will live with the rest of my squad apart from those two positions, so... we're doing a good job of missing. But my new forward as well would be quite nice, because that way I could happily tell Turner exactly where to go and dump him, and also have a decent backup and possible replacement for Chamberlain, who's also unhappy. I did scout the trialist game, and there was nobody who'd been released by their clubs in the trialist game who caught my eye. But pretty much everybody I've looked at is bringing in as a significant upgrade. I've either been gazumped by some other club with a much higher bid, or their wage demands have been so horrifically excessive. Obi, how did you miss that open goal? Stroth. So essentially Wigan is a club for players to develop at, then get sold on for excessive fees so I can go and get some more players to develop. That's pretty much the way this club is going. Which is not a bad way to do it. If I can survive a season in the Premier League, or two, then the club's status will go up anyway. But more than that, it will be financially secure. Oh, nice goal by Wedderburn. A nice pass by Rec. But the left back slot is definitely a concern. And of course, apart from my natural bias towards local players, or nationally local players, basically English players, because I'm playing in an English league, which that bias doesn't always help, because to buy some of them requires more money than it would to buy a foreigner. I'm kind of struggling to find players who are willing to join me who will actually improve the side, or players who are willing to join me who would improve the side, who don't have glaring faults that I don't like, as in the does not like playing in big matches, because as I mentioned previously, another good goal. As far as I'm concerned, anytime Wigan play in the Premier League, every match is a big match. And if you don't like playing in big matches, well, you're not much use to me every week. Of course, with the wage budget I've got and the wage budget I'm using, the highest paid Man City player is being paid as much as the whole of my wage budget I'm using, and the top two highest paid Man City players exceed the total of my wage budget. So that kind of shows the difference between playing as Wigan, having got to the Premier League, or playing as Man City. Which is one of the reasons why the Real Madrid job, if it does come up, and who knows how long they're going to take to decide to actually fill that job, but if it does come up, that's why it's attractive, because I can then go out and sign players who are good, who will want to join Real Madrid, and not have to worry about competing for wages or competing for talent, because heck, they're Real Madrid just purely by being their name. They are far more attractive to players than Wigan. And let's face it, given a choice between living in Madrid or Wigan, who wouldn't choose Madrid? Oh, another great cross. Harwood and Chamberlain seem to be combining rather well at the moment. 30 minutes into this game and I'm 4-0 up, and I'm kind of glad now that I've managed to re-sign Harwood. There again, like I did mention, they are a French third-tier outfit. Oh, I've also sold about 12,000 season tickets so far, considering my crowd was averaging about 20,000 last year, and they reckon I should sell about another 3,500 season tickets to make the season ticket sale to somewhere in the 16,000 range, which will be a nice boost in revenue. Oh, poor Rec, having no luck in front of goal, just like Obi. And a nice easy goal there for Chamberlain. Well, I wasn't thinking that this French side would be a walkover, but so far they've made Ramsbottom look good. And yes, that was, what, 2-3 games ago was the Ramsbottom friendly, where I was drawing 0-0 at half time. Ramsbottom being a local non-league bunch of nobodies, they put up a harder fight than this French outfit. There goes good old Wreck running down the wing. Oh, I thought he was going to do something more dramatic and significant with that ball. And that's one of the reasons I seem to like Wedderburn. He never seems to stop running. Oh, and now he's taking corners apparently. The man wants to do it all. Oh, I thought Harbour was going to get put in another great cross for a second then. Well, a dominant first half performance. That was just easy. Now I've got to take Atherton on and put somebody else. Take Atherton off and put someone else in his place, which is going to be Richard James. So I need to put Craig Vincent on and swap Craig Vincent round with Richard James. Right. Ryan Gurr, you come on. Peter Craig, you can come on. Robbie Byrne, you can come on. Dean Turner, you can come on. Jamie Slaughter. Sean Lamb. And the rest can stay on. And there you go. I'm very pleased. Keep going. As always, pre-season friendlies, they're just there for fitness more than anything else. I want people to play in them, get match fit, and that's all I actually require from them. Oh, unlucky Slaughter. That was a nice shot. So the fact Chamberlain scored 4 goals is very nice, but it's essentially meaningless. It wouldn't matter really if he'd scored 40 goals. It affects nothing as far as the actual season goes. Ooh. Okay, nice tackle. But it does make you feel good if you win pre-season friendlies 5-0 or more. And looking at how bad their pitch is, considering it's the start of the season, kind of wonder how bad that pitch will be at the end of the year. Well, Turner, nice goal. Yes. You may want to leave, and you may well leave for an excessive price, but while you're still playing for me, it's always nice to appreciate your skill. That's nice to see. Slaughter, because he doesn't have the pace, used his strength and skill to actually dodge a tackle to get the shot in. Of course, if I do manage to sign the Man United youngster for 6 million, then Slaughter's playing days are pretty much done, because he will struggle to even get on the bench. Which in a way is a shame, because he's been a great servant to the club for the 2 years I've been in charge. But there again, when you're playing League One football, you can have a level of skill which will not translate to higher divisions. And he did He did make a decent impact in the Championship, I must admit, but even then you could physically see him struggling whenever we played a through ball for him. Oh, dodgy penalty decision, but okay. This late in the game with a 6-0 lead. If they want to pull one back by a dodgy penalty, so be it. But they couldn't even do that. Now, because I also sent, or I told my head of youth development, who's actually technically my assistant at this point, because my head of youth development got let go at the end of the year, to put about 30 people on the development list. I've got quite a few people out on loan currently. I'm wondering if I'm actually going to be able to field an under-23 side, let alone an under-18 side, because there are so many of them who are no longer with the club. Stockport keep putting in bids, even though they've got the maximum amount of players they can have on loan from Wigan in a season already, them being my affiliate. And quite possibly once the Real Madrid situation is resolved, then I may start talking to my board about various bits and pieces like more affiliates, improving the ground, etc, etc, etc. Yeah, it's a nice dominant win by Wigan. Well, that was the pre-season game. Here is the wonders of my squad as it currently stands. There's Chamberlain and Turner both unhappy, but they're both still doing a good enough job. And I'm hoping Robbie Byrne will develop probably off the bench. Craig Vincent is probably the next one to go, but on the transfer side, they're on the way out. John Hale. Oh, he's a backroom staff. That's the guy. Kelvin Gordon, a talented young player who I think will fit in rather nicely with my team. Yes, he's down as a striker, but he does play the attacking midfield central role as a shadow striker very well too. And this is the German central defender, Tom Geibler, I guess I'm going to pronounce that as. No, probably horribly wrong. His stats, his strength, his natural fitness, his physical stats are impressive, as well as his mental stats, and he could do with some development, but he's only 21. And Alex Connolly, who I was trying to get, but Watford won't talk real numbers at me. I tried putting in decent bids for him, but doesn't look like I'm going to get him. Anyway, that's it for this one. As always, I hope you enjoyed, and hopefully I will see you down the road.